hips going.
We normally leave the hip stuff till last, but that was nice. That was good. I like that. Welcome to Brussels Comic Con.
Thank you very much.
How's the people been?
Awesome. I mean, you guys are just the best. You've got such great energy. You've just really filled it, and you've done such a great job. So thank you for making it such a pleasurable experience. You're awesome.
Except for that one guy. Have you seen that? We always ask if you've been to Belgium before?
I have been to Belgium. I was here for Comic Con 2 years ago, and then I was also filming Luther, the Fallen Sun. We filmed in the big water tank. That's just about an hour from here, so which is the biggest water tank in Europe. For those of you who are interested about water tanks.
What's the second one?
I couldn't tell you.
When you say filming in the water tank, just swimming around?
Yeah, and we did a bit of filming as well. No, there's a whole there's a big sequence at the end. Actually, I'm not going to spoil it, you may never see it, but there's a sequence in the film through the Fallen Sun with Idris Elba, which involves a little bit of water.
There you go. Andy, we are going to have about 1 million questions. We might have to chat about a little franchise known as Lord of the Rings.
Never heard of it.
There's a few fans here. We don't know why, but yeah, I mean, do you do a lot of conventions like this?
Do I go to conventions?
Do you do a lot of these now?
I've stuck in the last couple of years, I suppose I've done a few more. And I haven't done for a while, but I absolutely love going to these. It's just a fantastic way of, meeting and hearing people who you're making the films for speak about the passions that they have, and it's really, really wonderful and very humbling, and I love doing it, so it's great.
How many times a day does someone actually do your voice?
More than once, I can tell you.
How many times do people do the voice to you?
More than about 200 actually.
Because obviously, just because we're going to talk about Garland, obviously, we've got a million questions given the news this week.
Yeah.
You won't be able to tell us much now, but when you created Garland, how did you land on that voice? And did you know that voice will follow you around for the rest of your life?
I mean, when I started working on it, I knew that I wanted to create a voice that was about where the pain and guilt of the character that Smeagol was with killing his cousin. And I knew that, reading books, of course, he's called Gollum because of the way he sounds. That Gollum sound is described in the book. So I wanted to find something that was kind of involuntary, that your body was connected to the body and the throat and the spine, and not being able to control it when it came out. And many of you will know this story because you're all Lord of the Rings fans, but my cat at the time, Diz, came into the kitchen and threw up a fur ball in front of me. And that literally, that kind of rippling through his spine, which then became that's what eventually became.
So lucky you now have a cow in the house.
I owe my cat an enormous fortune. That led to so many other franchises. If it wasn't for Diz.
It was a cat Did you have any other voices that you really landed on, or was it all a natural evolution?
Well, it grew and changed and morphed during the shoot. And obviously we were shooting for a long period of time. So it started off by being one voice, and then obviously we wanted to find a voice for the Smeagol part of that. So we sort of found a way of making, as Gollum was more guttural and throaty and more down here, we wanted to find a higher, more nasal, easily, sort of, because he ends up being, although at the beginning Smeagol you think is the more benign and more put upon part of his personality, of course throughout the course of the movies you realise it's the more manipulative and deceptive side. So that voice evolved over the course of the making of the films.
It blows my mind, it's become such a staple of film lore and history, and Everyone's talking about an image of God, and they really brought it to life, but what you gave to it through performance is like completely now that character. You can't see him any words.
I know you probably get asked this a lot, but when you had you already had that in mind before, was that kind of the audition process, or did you already cast and then you went around?
No, I had a version of that voice for the audition.
There he is.
For the audition, and then it sort of, refined over a period of time. I went in with something akin to that, but not quite as full-fledged.
Yeah. Obviously, like the process as an actor, because like how you created Dom as well physically and with motion capture, that was groundbreaking. You wouldn't have done any of that acting before, or was that the first time?
No, I've always been, I was lucky enough when I started acting, I started in theatre, and I started in repertory theatre, where like stock theatre, in the States, where, you're rehearsing one play during the week and you're performing another one at night, which meant you really had to get your head around creating and differentiating between characters. So my first job as an actor was at a theatre I did 14 plays back to back, creating one character during the day, performing another one at night. So that was my education into the art of transformation, or creating a voice that was linked to the psychology and the physicality for each different role. And then that sort of carried on really. So physicality was always important as a way of defining character. But Gollum specifically I was drawing inspiration from all of the descriptions that Tolkien gives the character in the book, and paintings by Francis Bacon, sort of all sorts of different artists actually. Just to see an image and you kind of go, yeah, that kind of was that. And then the technological side of it, that evolved over the course of the year and a half that we shot principal photography, and then on for each of the films as we went back and shot more and pick ups for each of the individual films.
And have you used pets as inspiration for any other characters you've done with before, or voices for?
Did you have that chimpanzee for a while?
No, Caesar are based on a real chimpanzee called Oliver. There's been a few documentaries about him. He was in the 1970s. He was a completely bipedal chimpanzee who his facial expressions were so human. Just his behaviour. He'd come in and he'd sit down, he'd do that. It would be extraordinary, and people thought for a while that he was the progeny of the man, that he had human DNA, and he was known as the chimpanzee. And so he did this worldwide tour where there were a lot of DNA experiments carried out, and it was proven finally that he was 100% chimp, but of course they're very close to us anyway, genetically. So
you learned how to be by copying an output that was kind of human.
Yeah, right, exactly. And they brought up with humans. Caesar's brought up with humans with an advancing drug which advances his, I don't know if you'd say, intelligence, because he becomes more human-like or whatever it certainly follows, but he certainly evolved and began to kind of, that was an extraordinary role that played Caesar over 3 films where you get to play a character from birth all the way through to death, evolving mentally, evolving physically into a more human-like creature. So that going back to your question about pets, before that, not a pet, but I did form a very strong relationship with a gorilla at London Zoo called Zaire, who there were 2 female gorillas and a male gorilla called Bob, who was brought in as part of the breeding program. So there were 2 females, and he was brought in as part of the breeding program. Bob hated me because I had a really good relationship with Zaire.
Oh, really?
He gave me such a hard time. Whenever I was sitting and I was for some months, I was observing and had this connection with Zaire. Every time I came in, he would look at me and was like, and then he would always collect piles of stones, and I was walking by, he really didn't like me. I was like, oh, back off, man.
The staff like that weird guy's watching the gorillas again. He's back.
Did you have like a thing with the other two that we do now? Did you have to?
Yeah,
How did you get that?
It was a lot to the fact that were aware of the sort of work I was doing by that.
Oh yeah, my name's Serkis, I'm an actor. I've been in a few films.
I've been out to Rwanda and studied mountain gorillas in the wild, and it was really interesting because the rhythm and the way that they moved and behaved in these big troops of like 23 gorillas, just all, it really was like being a Glastonbury or something. It was some sort of like hippie festival with mountain gorillas, and I remember just chilling out, lying down, occasionally getting up and chewing a bamboo shoot.
Royals and Jones came on.
But then coming back and watching gorillas in captivity, where they're surrounded by humans, the rhythms are totally much more human-like. If you've grown up just being faced by people staring at you and human behaviour, it's remarkably different.
I was just going to say, I'll tell you what, I've got a funny story about a chimpanzee, but then I didn't hear that, so we can check that out later.
You're listening to Chimpanzee Tales. When you get that sort of character story, like, it's ever been a point, because obviously a lot of your career has come from the fact that you saw this goal and you go, I know this guy who can do this sort of work. How's that feel as an actor? Do you ever just stand up and go the golf ball and you're like, this is ridiculous? Or are you very good at going, this is going to be great, and you just focus on the acting?
Yeah, it's ridiculous standing in a suit with golf balls in, but actually, the point is, I think the thing was, it took a little time for people to really understand what performance capture actually is.
Okay, sometimes it's like we just take a brief pause for the wrestling during one of the most captivating stories I've ever listened to. I was like, this is
Yeah, exactly. No, but I actually became quite. The moment of epiphany really for me was after playing Gollum, and these Jacks asked me to play King Kong, and I suddenly realised that it doesn't. Going from playing this small 3.5-foot ring junkie to playing a 25-foot gorilla, it means you can do anything. Anybody, any actor can play anything using this technology. So I became very evangelical about it, and then formed Imaginarium, which is the company where Harry producing partner. We formed this place where we can evolve the technology and move it on, use it for different, not only for video games but also for emerging,
game changing. The speed it develops. So I've never seen motion capture, so just one thing Lord of the Rings is very good at for fans is they put so many extras on DVDs.
Yeah.
So everyone became aware of this, and then obviously YouTube came a little bit afterwards. So when we say you were groundbreaking in that industry, that's like you were the front runner of that industry. It's insane, like where we're at now from 25 years ago.
But the technology was evolving. I just happened to be. It's like being I always liken it to being like a Formula 1 race driver, because I get to sit in the seat and drive the car and win the races, but it's the team that you're leading them in a way, and actually they're building bespoke technology because you're requiring certain things, and that's how it's always felt. I've not personally involved with technology. I've been the one who's seen what the questions are and what the solutions sort of need to be, and then the team that the amazing CG artists and code writers and people who make physical motion capture cameras and all the rest of it, they're the ones who really involved.
Again, the way it's going exactly that. But they do it live now. You can do that technology and you can see it back. So when was the first time you saw what you were doing? How long was the shoot?
Even going back to Lord of the Rings, I remember the first time I saw myself look into the screen, wearing a suit and lifting up my arm, and Colin, I could see Colin lifting up his arm. It was like looking in a magic mirror, you know. And I mean, we're used to that, you know, Snapchat filters, etc. It's all very, it's sort of tech we recognise now. But at the time, it was just like, this was extraordinary. You're becoming the sort of puppeteer and the marionette at the same time. You're inhabiting that. And then it's like, okay, well, I'm going to dial in more curvature into the back so you can do that. And the way that the characters are, you literally have to bend over a bit. And then so that you're literally building this bespoke puppet that you then fit into your own world.
Do you know why you got any injuries? Because it's so much of this what's your way of doing
Oh
that?
yeah, I mean it is physically exhausting. I mean for in Planet of the Apes, you know, there are scenes that you did which, you know, it takes a whole day to film, and you're down in this position, you know, for like, you know, 10, 15 hours.
Your thighs must be like sticking things.
Yeah. And you kind of get at the end of the day, you know, you barely move.
I mean, if you're in all day, you hear like people go to the toilet with their microphone on. Is there footage of you somewhere where someone's motion captured like, just somewhere out there?
Fortunately, the cameras are not in the toilets, but
You gotta check these things. I mean, we just to return that goal as well, we've got to act like there's a golf film coming or in the works apparently.
There's very little I can say about it, you know, at the moment, just want to say that up front. But I have to say I'm so thrilled to go back and work with the team that I started working with all those years ago. Peter Jackson's been such an amazing mentor, Philip and Fran and all the lads who have been studios. To go back to the New Zealand filmmaking community and to go back and direct and you know, build up another story that I think hopefully, you know, you all love. You know, it's challenging. There's no question. Those films are impeccable, and Peter Jackson, like you say, he was groundbreaking. Not only in the sense of the sorts of films he was making in the tech, he was using to create all colonies and all those things, but also the whole thing about introducing fans into the process early on was so important, and that's what really differentiated those films. We felt like we had a community that we were all making, including the fans. They were included at such an important level. You know.
Well, I felt like you guys were also fans.
Yeah, we were all fans. I mean, that's the thing. We were all massive talking, you know, passionate about talking and you know.
Nerds, that's what it was, nerds.
Nerds.
That's why we're here, it's not about work, guys.
You said in there, when you're on the question around the goal, you weren't finished with the characters. Has this been something that's been swimming inside you for a long time?
Gollum refuses to leave me. It's nothing to do with it. It's just like he keeps kind of claiming me. And, you know, I thought, you know, when we went back to do The Hobbit, it was just like, oh, it was so easy to go back into that character. And then I spent, you know, over the last decade, I've been doing audio books and so on, but, you know, for the trilogy and The Hobbit. And it all started with The Hobbit-a-thon, and I did during COVID.
Yeah.
I did a reading all the way through, and it's just like, oh, I love this world, and it's such a pleasure to be able to do this. And then the publishers, HarperCollins, so which you do audio books. And so I spent, I mean, it's just never left me. Tolkien's world has just never left me. And so I think when the notion that Warner Brothers was to make more films and Peter was willing to return with Fran and Phil and create a whole new raft of great movies, I think it felt very natural that this would be. And also, I directed Pete and asked me to direct the second year on The Hobbit, and so I shot for 200 days on The Hobbit. So it was like, it just felt very natural that at some point it would come back.
Are you ready to direct yourself, or your two selves as it is?
Yeah, I hope that guy from the bottom's good.
Yeah, you're going to audition yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
amazing. We probably won't be doing questions there just because there's so many of you. Like everyone is burning down the front if you get a view from the front. Yeah, we just can't get into the audience physically, but we will get a view watch your bit because that's why you're here. And we'll try and get to know you then.
Hi, welcome to Brussels. You have played a lot of different roles, but what is your favorite?
Wow, that's so hard. People have asked me this so many times, and I failed to be able to answer it correctly. Because the fact of the matter is there isn't one. I mean, God has meant such a lot to me, obviously, for obvious reasons. It started a whole journey. But in the live action world, without motion capture, there are also characters. And probably from those who might not have heard of, but I played a character, Ian Jury, who's heard of Ian Jury here? That's 11 of you, that's great. No, but I mean, that was a great character. He was a proto-punk of the 1970s, polio suffering, refused to be put down by that, and was just this amazing big poet, musician, performer, kind of cabaret artist, just out there punk. He was the forerunner of a punk movement called Sex Pistols, so he inspired the Sex Pistols. And I got to know Jim Rennie in that film. I got to know his family, and I actually wore a lot of his costumes that he used to wear on stage. And just, it was a real deep dive into that character. And if anybody's interested, there's a film called Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll, and it's about this amazing performer Ian Jury. He was around at the same time as Lou Reed, and therefore his film of music was really kind of groundbreaking, and it was kind of like deep poetry, but really like hip-hop as well.
That was like a response to like a long form like rockabilly and stuff like that. So yeah, it was really like an angle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's incredible, actually. Is music something you're into?
I love music, I love it. So that was very long-winded answer to your question. But yes, that character, Ian Jury, was certainly one of the other than Donald scenes that we call other obvious ones.
Is there any character you'd like to revisit?
Yeah, I'd like to revisit Snowden.
Oh really? Yeah.
Because I felt he was kind of, severely cut off in his prime. In a very unfair way. And I think there needs to be a little bit more exploration about the character.
I think there should be a spin-off that Snow just solves crimes on the planet. Yeah, we've got really sorry, we'll get whoever we can reach them.
I will move out the way.
Is there an inanimate object in your life that you hold dear to your heart that's always precious?
An inanimate object. Wow. That claims me as much as the precious.
What is Andy's precious?
I can't say my children, because they're not inanimate. But they pretty much hold me there forward. Inanimate object. That's a good word. I suppose I'm a camera geek. I'm obsessed with cameras. I do collect them, and I'm ridiculous when I collect cameras, and so I'm a bit nerdy about them, in a long obsessive, addictive way.
We are going to have a conversation on stage, my friend, about some cameras. The same obsession. We'll get down to try and get.
What draws you to a particular script or character? What makes you say yes to a project?
What makes me say yes to a project? That's a really great question. And I think it generally is always something about the character that makes. I always look for what will make me change the audience's perception of what they think is obvious about the character. And so for me, if I read the script and I think, I know where this is going, and it's a pretty obvious rendition of this particular kind of character, then it's a real turn-off. But if there's something in there, just a tiny little scene of something which is kind of like, I don't think I've seen that before, I don't think that's been shown. There's something about this, the human condition that's worth examining here. You know, that's what really excites me. When I think, well, there's a way of, or maybe not even that, maybe it's, on the surface it looks like you know what you're going to get with this character, but there's something about it which just makes you think, no, it's worth mining and getting underneath and under the skin of this character because there's a lot more there. That's what makes it, that excites me and interests me. And that isn't just, I mean, that's across everything, whether it's theatre or, you know, live action roles or CG roles. By the way, I've never ever drawn a distinction between acting in a motion capture suit and acting in costume and makeup, or acting on stage or acting on screen. For me, it's all one thing. You're telling a story, you're completely inside a character, and you know, you live the life of that character, and that's it. You know, so a lot of people say, you know, they were very confused about motion capture, performance capture. It wasn't like proper acting. It's just like so long. So, and that's something I've had to be very diligent about putting out there. And fortunately, more and more actors can understand it now. There are some amazing performance captures. You know, characters created by other actors, prominent actors.
On the character thing, has there ever been a character you turn down and you see it and go, oh, that was great? Or do you always found that projects to do?
No, there have been characters that I'm wishing that I haven't got. I'm wishing that that was really amazing.
Which is really amazing.
There was a really great, because actually, that would be rudimentary. No, there was a great film called Gangster #1, which I don't know if any of you know. Paul Bettany played the part actually. I auditioned for that role and I would love to have done that role. It's a really good film.
You did great, yeah. I mean, you didn't like you such a great criminal and that, yeah. Was he like the East End?
That was a really good, it was a great script, you know, back to your point, you know, it's a brilliant analysis of the psychopathy of the criminal.
Yeah, I was up on that, kind of good. Hands up again, okay, I'm gonna, because she's always here, so yeah, I'm gonna give it, you know, Comic-Con stalwarts, so yeah, last question, so make it a good one.
Thanks, and thank you for coming to my question was, when talking about film and theater, you described it in a very physical way, and was physical acting always the way you approached it, or was it something you grew into?
No, I think you know, sort of going back to what I was saying about theatre, I think, and the necessity of creating a physical vocabulary for a character is something that was born out of having to play a different character during rehearsals in the daytime, something that I was then going to do, whilst at night time playing something completely different. So it sort of forced me to kind of exercise those muscles. And the physicality is only driven by emotion or it's interlinked with the emotional backstory of the character, where a character carries anger or tension or pain or, you know, it's like all those energy centers. So for me, it's all bound up with the creation of the character, and it goes back to what I started.
Especially because of that physicality, is it hard to step out of the character, or are you very good at just, yeah?
Well, it's interesting because you do, you know, acting is, you are tricking your mind and your body to be that thing that you're doing. So if you're a character that carries a lot of tension, which I just done in a play, played the Lost American, I just finished, and the character I was playing was really locked and tense in the shoulders, for instance. And I couldn't shift that for the entire period of time I was doing that play. And it took months for it to kind of gradually unlock, you know. And that was, you know, that side, all sorts of things just wouldn't go. So you're never, I'm convinced you're never the same person you were before playing the role, because you chemically, physically, mentally changed yourself to get into that character. So your perception of life is totally different afterwards. Anyway.
Good answer.
You could have been a masterclass. That's like,
I would love to keep asking questions, but I keep catching
microphone into the audience. So,
Is Kino Roy dead? That's a bit rich. How am I supposed to answer that without spoiling it for everybody?
just spoil it. Mic drop it off.
Okay, can Kino Roy swim? Was your question.
I am desperate to know as well.
I think we'll have to watch series 2.
Andy, we like to get a picture with our guests in the audience behind us, if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
Guys, you know what to do, just be very animated behind us, and then we'll let it go.